and this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome in. It is a historic day coming out of BTT Studios, and we're so glad that you guys could join us wherever you are joining us at. We are live every single weekday right here on Stadium and Bally Sports Live, which is on Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV. We are available in over 100 million homes every single weekday. Now, starting today, we could not be more excited, more honored that the stadium execs, they called me a couple weeks ago and they said, Coach, people are loving Coach and Bro so much. We're moving you from the night to the AM, a great time slot. So starting today and every single Thursday moving forward, we will have 2 hours emanating from BTT Studios. 10 to 11 will be Coach and Company, and then 11 to 12 will be Coach and Bro. Anything you could possibly want in the world of pro wrestling, you can watch it live, starting today. And then, we may have a little show on Sirius XM as well. The brand new, ultra popular Channel 156 Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 off the ropes with the coach. So we got a busy day in store. Oh, did I mention that our best bets are red hot at exactly the right time as we get closer and closer to the start of the football season? Look at that. 8-2. My boys coming through strong. And how about my man Big Tommy C throwing out run lines, throwing out unders, 2-0. And then Mikey P from SureDog.com, 3-0 yesterday. So we've got a lot of good positive vibes. We've got a lot of good positive people. You just saw a little sneak peek right there. So without further ado, we got to get into it. Let's bring in who we have today, and it's an embarrassment of riches. Go ahead and bring him up. We don't need it in transitions. We don't need a doorbell. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. Gentlemen, before we even get started, because coming up in a half an hour, we've got the Bills and the Dolphins start our team breakdowns. We've got front page news coming up in 15 minutes. But I got to ask a question, and I need a vote by a raise of hands. If somebody throws out a first pitch and it is right down the middle, knee height, outside corner, does it matter if it one hop to the catcher or not? No. I say it's a great first pitch. I vote for what, Zeno? What? No, I get no votes. I get no votes. All right, well, the video machine, unfortunately, is broken, so I can't actually show it. But if you go to my my Instagram page, I may or may not, Zeno, have one hop my first pitch last night at the minor league baseball game here. I'm not embarrassed, but I wanted to get ahead of the game. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you can't bounce it. You can't bounce it. You have to reach home plate. Even if you move up and throw it, closer to the plate, you can't bounce it.
Move up? I was on the rubber, big boy. I was on the rubber.
Then don't bounce it, big boy. Don't call yourself big boy and throw it 55 feet. Big boys throw it 60 feet, 6 inches.
I will say this, that there were 2 first pitches last night, and I embarrassed him. The mayor of Pineville, North Carolina, threw the second first pitch, which I asked him, I said, how can it be a first? But then DG, they said I was taking it too serious. Does that shock you?
No, that doesn't shock me, but it doesn't shock me at all that I said you would throw a ball. I said you would bounce it. I can rack up all those bets that Rafael put lines on.
Whoa. You just said I would throw a ball. I did not throw a ball. It was perfectly right down the middle. I will post it. It was a perfect pitch. It just one hopped. But it was perfect pitch. And I had witnesses. We had like 8 or 9 of us there last night. I'm telling you right now. I have people texting me. My phone is blowing up because they're like, no, Coach, you can't one hop. So there's about 11 people that just texted me. All right. Let's forget about the first pitch. We have an 8-2 day we're coming off of yesterday. However, DG, I'm going to let you start because you had one of the X's. Rafael, you had one of the X's. And Mikey P may or may not, DG, have said, if you go 3-0 on the show, he just texted me. He's in the same hotel I am. Do I get to replace DG on today's show? I had to think about it. I got to be honest with you. And with your reaction to my first pitch, I should have done it. Best bets, you're up. Go.
These bets will be better than what Mikey's done all year. We're going to go Braves first 5. Team total over 1.5. It's at -120. I love this spot simply because the Braves against the Mets. You got to take everything else out of it. It is a rivalry. And very much they've hit 2+ runs in the first 5 and 6 of the last 7 games. But also Singa, who's on the mound, has allowed 3+ in 4 straight starts. Because of that, I'm going to roll with the Braves in the first 5. Team total over the 1.5 runs. And then we're going to go in that same exact game, and we're going to target a guy in Bryce Elder, who is on the mound for the Braves with his 6.12 ERA, and go Juan Soto over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. It is -135. I get it's a little juicy on there, but he's had 2+ hits, runs, and RBIs in 7 of the last 8 games. I'm going to go with a hot Juan Soto.
Hot is right. And by the way, do you know how hot it is here in Charlotte, North Carolina, I might add? I just got a text, and it's almost embarrassing for me to read it, guys. It really, really is. It's from Big Tommy C. And I don't know if it's just good timing or what, but Zeno, this is about you. He said, listen, I just saw Zeno's play on the run line. I am a run line expert, and if he needs any advice or help, tell Zeno he has my number. Why would Big Tommy feel that way, Zeno?
I can't understand where that text is coming from, but listen, if there's a lot of things in life I need help with, this is not one of them.
All right, best bets. You're up. Go.
All right, real quick, before I get to the bets, I just got to give some flowers here real quick, Coach. One, Soupy and I went head-to-head earlier in the week. He got it right. I got it wrong. I will be man enough to admit it, so someone let Soupy know that he gets his flowers. And I'll give some more flowers to Peyton and his damn Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim for sweeping the Dodgers. Who was the dummy who laid $2 last night on the Dodgers money line?
Wow, did you really? Oh, this guy. This guy. Okay.
Let's move on. Let's move on from bad things. Speaking of juice there, DG, mine's freshly squozed this morning. Lots of juice here. Tigers -1.5. Why? Tariq School's on the mound. Over his last 6 starts against the Twins, 37 innings, just 5 runs allowed, 37 strikeouts, 4-0 over that span. Twins lineup batting a collective $150 against him. Tigers should roll in this one. And speaking of juicy, Phillies team total over 4.5. Why? Nats going with a bullpen game. Worst bullpen ERA in baseball. They get all 9 at bats since 2020. Philly in D.C. has averaged 5.9 runs per game. Nats used 5 relievers yesterday. Phillies coming off a shutout. Big runs today from Philadelphia.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got knocked over. I could have swore that Zeno just gave somebody else flowers on this show. Did that really just happen? Did that really just happen?
Wow.
Twice.
Shocked.
I don't even know how we continue, but we're going to try, damn it. We're going to try. All right.
On a high note.
I'll leave on a high note. All right, Peyton, I feel like the natural thing to do is to come over to you with the flowers and the lettuce. Best bets. You're up. Go.
Love it. I'm going with the Mets to cover plus money today, +112. Series finale in New York. And so far, it's been a series because the Mets dominated game 1. And last night, they gave up 9 in the 4th to blow the game. Kodai Senga throwing it home where he has an ERA of just 2.42. And the Mets facing Bryce Elder with an ERA over 6. And Mets hitters hitting almost 300 against him as a team. I like the Mets to keep up what they've been doing and cover the spread at home. Also, Toronto Blue Jays money line. Max Scherzer on the mound at home as Cubs hitters hitting just 217 and over 100 at-bats against him. Matthew Boyd at home or on the road of the Cubs throwing, who's been really good with an ERA of 1.75 at home, but on the road 3.15. And the Blue Jays hitters are hitting 3.75 as a team against him. I like the Blue Jays on the money line. I also like the under today in the Tigers and Twins matchup with Scoobel on the mound.
Wow. Are you? I feel like you're very stoic today. Is it because school's starting? You're trying to get back in the study mode? I feel like you're very subdued today, Peyton.
I'm in the friendly confines of my girlfriend's home, so I'm not trying to be too loud, making anybody awake. I think it's 9 a.m. People should be up, but some aren't.
I'm sure that's a normal thing when you're in. Oh, my bad. You're talking about the show. All right, let's move on. All right, Rafael, big boy, coming over to you. Best bets, go.
Coach, congratulations on bouncing yesterday in the home front of the home plate. It was -120 that you would bounce in front of the home plate.
Oh, my God. Just go. Just go.
We're going to take the Chiefs-Seahawks tomorrow's game, first half, 20.5. Why? Because the Chiefs scored 14 points in the first half their last game, and the Seahawks scored 16 points. Both of those 2 games went over the first half. I think the trend continues as the Seahawks put up some points early. And then we're going to do with baseball. Give me the Guardians first 5, -0.5 plus 105. I don't need no minus 125 or minus 140. I want plus money. Yesterday, redemption day. Miami beat the Guardians 13-4. Redemption all day today. Cleveland's won 7 of their last 10. I think they put some runs early on the board, and I'll cash the first 5.
All right, very good. By the way, the Chiefs and Seahawks, that game is Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time if you're keeping score. Now, you guys know we have an incredible partnership. Oh, well, we have one more play. What am I doing? Big Chuck? Oh, geez. Mark, see, you're ruining my flow even before we ruin my flow. I'll get to Chuck's play. There you go. Hibernian, Partisan, over 2.75 minus 125. Don't even know where they are, but I'm sure they're going to cash because that's what he does. And then we're going to stay in that game, first half team total. We just need one. We just need one in the first half, over 1. That's all we need right there. All right, Mark, your model, JTS play of the day, because I have something else I got to get to. Mark, what do we have? Go.
Well, let's cash our third one tonight, Coach. We are going for 3 in a row, and we're going to go with Juan Soto, the New York Mets, to get at least 1 hit tonight against the Braves. He has been an absolute hit machine, hitting this in 10 of his last 11, 6 of 7 versus Atlanta. And we're going to fade Baltimore Orioles' Jordan Westburg this afternoon to stay under 1.5 hits. Westburg has not been able to get over this line in 8 of his last 9 and in 5 straight games at home. When you put this hot and cold pair together, you get a plus 106, just as Test Sports play of the day.
All right, very good. And you guys know the drill. You can scan that QR code, and you can use our code, and the QR code is everywhere. BTT30, you get 30 days for free, and it'll take you all the way into the NFL season. And we're using a different platform today, so it may not be up on the screen, but you guys know, go to JTS and follow while you're there. So, gentlemen, just because the disrespect was so paramount, I called in the tech, and I said, I need the video, and I need it right now, because Zeno and DG and Peyton and Rafael are talking smack, whether it's just a little smirk or actually their mouths are open. So, producer man, if you don't mind, first pitch video, roll it.
Good luck on your event, Coach. Now let's see that pitch. Make some noise.
Hey, what's good, everybody? It's Coach here from the PFL and ESPN.
You didn't even try to get it over home plate.
It was
like
perfect
on purpose.
Did I hit the grass?
I wanted to go next
That was in
level.
the grass.
I wanted to go next level.
That
It was a perfect strike. Did you not see it?
strike
Producer
ball.
man, one more time. One more time.
Good luck on your event, Coach. Now let's see that pitch.
See, I couldn't just do a normal one with the.
How can you be proud of that? My kids could have got a farther throw to home.
What are we talking about?
Just a bit short.
Did we not see the result? If you hit an
The
under,
result is it was a ball.
Hey, Coach, the Cricket League called. They're interested.
Yeah, there you go.
We could have got you a cutoff man if you needed one, Coach.
it's
Wow.
one thing. It's one thing for you clowns to clown on me, but I just got a text from a
Cut
two-time
off
winner of
me.
the Arnold Palmer Invitational, Matt Every. He's clowning on me too. Oh, boys, I may do the rest of the show by myself.
Can't be
I
proud
just
of
might.
that.
What'd you say, Zeno?
You can't be proud of that. Like, you just can't. I would not be sharing that around as a proud.
No. My advice, stay off the mound. I would scoot up a little closer. You're getting older.
Or just play first base because all you got to do is catch that.
I was an all-state first baseman, by the way.
Okay, that's better.
It
All right.
showed.
We're just getting started here on Coach and Company. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we start our team breakdown. We're starting in the AFC East, the Bills and the Dolphins. And again, that might be all Coach. Then coming up in about 4 minutes from right now, we have our front page of news. There's a lot of things going on in the sports world. What do my guys think about them as well? We're just getting started on a disrespectful day here on Coach and Company Live, as always, on Stadium. Take me off. Take me.
All right, get that guy out of here. We're going to keep on going with our college football. Today we are targeting the Big Ten. Rafael is with me. The Penn State, they started off 13-3 last year and honestly had a really good season. James Franklin always does James Franklin things just in general. So let's go and look at this team, Rafael. What are your thoughts on them this season after bringing back a lot of the starters?
I can't believe that so much love this year is on Penn State. I mean, they probably have the most tickets written to win the national championship, the most tickets written to win the Big Ten. And last time I checked, they still have a bald-headed coach named Franklin who has not shown me anything. They're like the Texas A&M Aggies of college football. Penn State's right there.
I think they have an easier schedule this season than they did last year in general. They start the season off with Nevada, who is really a nobody. But they do bring back their quarterback. But we've also talked about their linemen on both sides. They're bringing back a lot of starters from last season, but also some guys that they didn't lose everybody to the draft. There's a lot of people that did come back. But what are your thoughts on the QB Drew Aller? Can he be a winning quarterback just in general within the entire, college football?
With that O-line, he's going to be, because he's going to be established to run early, and then that will open up the tight ends, which they have two good tight ends that he can focus on, and his wide receivers are really good. So, yes, I think he can make that step up. And you said it, they have a lot of returning starters, and I like teams that have returning starters than transfer portal players, because why are these kids in the transfer portal if they're that good? So you don't know if you're going to have a hit or miss. Ask Miami Hurricanes about transfer portal people.
Wow. Yeah, I don't like Miami. We'll get into them another day for sure. But let's go ahead and give me your predictions. Last year, 13-3 for Penn State. I think they're going to be really good, especially with all the returnees. So give me just your thoughts on their prediction of the record this season.
They will go to the college football playoff, and I'm going to give 14 wins this year. There's a Franklin game somewhere. Franklin is going to show up and wave to everybody. Hey, I'm still here. There's a Franklin game somewhere.
Yeah, James Franklin hasn't won the big game for sure, but I think Penn State is a juggernaut this season. I think they win it all. We'll be right back on Stadium, just 5 seconds.
What are we doing?
So I wanted you guys just to sit there for a second and let it come over you, because whether I'm talking or whether I'm not talking, it doesn't matter. I still run this damn thing. And if Rafael ever, and I mean ever, says, what are we doing again? We already took him off. By the way, I love to have the chat participate, but I will not have Kimberly say, Mark, what's the over-under on the number of humble brags by coach? And then Mark says, after that pitch, the under has to be a lock. LOL. JTS, we appreciate your service at Coaching Company. We'll be looking for a different site today. All right, gentlemen, it's time for front page news. And we've got a ton of topics to get to, so you guys know the deal. DG, you start. We piggyback all the way down. Now, this one is almost shocking when you're talking about baseball. The Dodgers back on July 3rd. They had a 9-game lead. It was going to be a victory lap for Shohei to win another MVP. He was going to get back on the mound. It was all good. 12 division titles in 13 years. That's what we were talking about until today. And they are now a full game back of the Padres. So, DG, are the Dodgers still the favorite in your mind to win the division title?
I don't think they are. And because of that, I think that the Dodgers are in cruise control. And if you find a team that's kind of stuck in that spot, you kind of have to look at what's around them. What are the other teams doing? And the Padres at the trade deadline really went all in for this season. I expect the Dodgers to still be great. They're going to be there in the championship run at the very end of the season. But the Padres, I think, end up winning this division.
Zeno.
Yeah, look, this is a collapse that no one's really talking about. We spent a lot of time talking about the Yankees and the Mets and their free fall from where they were to where they are. The Dodgers now join that category here. Yes, the Dodgers are still the favorite to win the NL West. And yes, they probably still likely will win the NL West because they're a little bit deeper and a little bit better. But that bullpen is a major, major, major concern for this team come to the playoffs. I think that they've shown vulnerability, and they're certainly not priced correctly in the market, because when you look at World Series odds, Coach, they're not $4 and $5 better than the next opponent to win the World Series. They're good. They're not that much better.
Peyton, piggyback, go.
Dodgers have the better lineup and the better starting rotation. They have the best 1 through 5 hitters in baseball, but they're just blowing games because of the no bullpen help at the deadline. Everyone's mentioned it, and I'm very surprised all the attention they have that they couldn't go get someone like the Padres went out and got Mason Miller now if a Padres starter goes 6 innings, you got Wandy Peralta or Jason Adams, depending on the righty-lefty matchups in the 7th. Then you go to Mason Miller and Robert Suarez. That's a lockdown game. And they're leading after 6. It's really hard to come back against the Padres. And that's why the Dodgers are sitting a game behind them right now in the NL West.
I feel like you're so nervous sitting in your girlfriend's house this morning. Not only can you not speak louder than the 3, but can you not hear either?
Oh, I can hear.
Oh, okay. Piggyback means go next, gentlemen. I don't need to re-tee you. All right, let's see if we can do it right this time. Because last night, there was a story of all stories coming out of Milwaukee. 70 years ago, yes, 70 years ago, a local hamburger joint said if the Milwaukee Brewers can win 17 games in a row, that everybody in the city would get a free hamburger. We all love free hamburgers, free tacos, free malts, whatever. So it took them so long. They never did it. So they then lowered it to 13 games about 40 years ago. They've never done it. So on a whim, they go, you know what? Let's take it down to 12. Well, guess what happened last night, boys? They won their 12th in a row. And I hope that local hamburger joint, it's buy one, get one free, because there's a whole lot of people living in Milwaukee. DG, will this place be in business in a week?
I love this. This is all about marketing 101. You let everybody know what's going on, the free hamburgers, it never hits, but when it does hit, it's still a win for you. You might take a big L, but all the marketing that's going to come around it, and the people will know your name, I guess your burger joint will be in the headlines. So because of this, I love this. I love this for the fans. Milwaukee Brewers, they're definitely getting hot.
Yeah, look, Milwaukee is as pronounced as Algonquin for the good land. And anytime you're giving away free hamburgers, it is the good land here. And look, the Brewers are hot. The city is hot. And this is just good vibes all around for Milwaukee. Of course, until they get to October and they realize that the good vibes end. So kind of like Peyton in his girlfriend's house, let it die down just a little bit. Just a little bit.
This place would have went out weeks ago because the Brewers had won 11 straight a couple weeks ago. They're unbelievable right now. The average fan looks at their lineup and they're like, who are these guys? Because they don't have Ohtani or Judge or stars of that caliber that hit the ball 450 feet. Like, yeah, you have power guys, Jackson Chourio, William Contreras, and Yelich, but they play small ball. They're second in baseball in batting average, stolen bases, and runs scored. It's all about pitching right now, and their bullpen is dominant, a 3.58 team ERA. They are dominating baseball right now. I love watching the Brewers.
When you have the starting pitcher, Brandon Woodruff, who has been damn near perfect this entire year, when he says, quote, I was nervous taking the mound with the burger thing on the line, this is a much bigger thing than I think any of us ever thought about. And I wanted to make sure to give them some love. George Webb is the name of this burger joint, George Webb. So congratulations, guys. I bet there's going to be a line out the block today, which is freaking awesome. All right, topic number 3. Tom Brady back in the news today. Apparently documentaries are all the rage, gentlemen. And there's a brand new one. I haven't watched it yet. Birmingham City, who Tom Brady is an investor in. And he showed up for one day, and they had the legendary Wayne Rooney as their coach in October of 2023. He lasted all of 3 months. Tom Brady said, well, we were concerned with his work ethic. Wayne Rooney in the documentary says, basically, Tom Brady doesn't know shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He certainly doesn't know soccer. DG, Wayne Rooney on the GOAT, not knowing squat.
Yeah, this isn't football or football. Like they're not the same, Tom, and you need to figure that out. You need to be less of Jerry Jones and more of another owner that kind of just pays into it, but also just kind of reaps the benefit. At this point, what are we doing? You don't know soccer. Last night I was at my kid's soccer game, and I know soccer. But guess what? I learned I don't know soccer because I'm a ding-dong, and I'm old, and I did not grow up the way these other coaches that coach soccer grew up. So I'm staying back. So should Tom.
Yeah. If Ted Lasso can do it, why can't Tom? That's question number 1. Number 2, You don't have to know anything about soccer to know about the process of how to become a winner and a champion. And that's something that Tom Brady knows a whole lot about. This isn't about X's and O's. This isn't about where the winger goes and the midfielder goes. This is about a process through the organization from top to bottom and a philosophical commitment to the way you do things to win. And that's something that Tom Brady knows everything about, because nobody's done more winning in professional sports than Tom Brady. When Tom Brady talks about how to win, everybody better listen.
Zeno mentioned it. I'm going to piggyback off him, Coach. He had a Mamba mentality, one of those Mamba mentality type athletes who hit it as hard as anyone who ever played the game. And he had to be, because he didn't have a God-given talent. He worked for everything every day of his football career. So when he sees people not working, he lashes out like he did at Rooney. But since Brady visited a day before a game, what Tom witnessed was a light workout and not up to his vision of game prep. And maybe Brady was misinterpreted that as being soft, but I think that was a clear case of him just not knowing how soccer works.
Hey, listen, boys, I guess I'm the only one that can connect with Tom Brady, because he walked in and he was not scared to make the tough decisions to make that team better. I face the same decisions every single day working with you idiots right here on Coaching Company. So don't think for it.
You also bounce the pitch, so you lose a little bit of credibility.
That
My
joke
flow.
never
All right. Topic number 4, you clowns. All right. Now, this is one that I feel like we really need, because the entire summer, the WNBA has been about pushes and a little bit of an elbow and, oh, Angel Reese in her new shoes. Stop it. I want some hardcore, dirty, get down fighting. And we had that last night between the Sun and the Sky, I believe are the names that they go by. 3 players ejected. DG, is this the kind of story and action we need to get the WNBA back where they need to be?
This is not going to help them. But I know that us guys like a little turmoil, a little fighting. And so the ejections, that's cool. And it's going to actually grab some headlines, which will benefit them. But when you look at those teams, those 2 teams, they suck. And so they have nothing going for them. And so they're probably a little pissed off because they take L after L every single night. And so because of that, maybe that's why they're a little angry, and it's okay to get thrown out of the game.
The people who run the WNBA are the equivalent to an 8-year-old trying to play Monopoly and run a business. They have no idea what they're doing. None of this is good for the league. Once again, it's all the physical, off the court, away from basketball stuff. What they need to be focusing on is the actual play, because I'll say repeatedly, as somebody who just started watching the WNBA over the last year, the product is really good. The games are really entertaining, and you have to find a way to make that the continual story and not the pushing and the shoving and things being launched onto the court that don't belong on the court.
DG just said it. These teams sucked. I didn't know this was happening. I don't need to see these girls yelling at refs now for the WNBA to get on the map a little bit. What the WNBA needs is better scheduling and Caitlin Clark healthy. That's what they need, because I'm not tuning in until CC22 laces up again, and she's missed 11 straight games now.
I feel like there's a little bit of Caitlin Clark behind the scene saying, you know what, I think I'll sit out for another game or 2 until these ladies understand I am the show. I am the reason everybody tunes in. Even Sophie Cunningham is supposed to be the greatest teammate of all time. She finally came out and said it. So these girls, they can fight all they want, but I'm with Zeno. Let's focus on the product and pushing CC to the moon, because until you do that, that collective bargaining thing that's coming up, when you guys sit out, you're going to look like the dumbest league in the history of time. You could go away and there's not going to be one person going, did I miss the WNBA game today? Nah. All right, I'm going to give my guys a quick little break. Coming up on the other side, we're only about halfway home. We're starting our team breakdown. 16 shows between now and the start of the NFL season. We do our first 2 today. It's the Bills and it's the Dolphins. Overall, having a good time. Coaching Company live, as always, right here on Stadium.
We continue the college football as we look ahead, and we're going to bring in our guy, Rafael, as we look at the Ohio State Buckeyes. And Rafael, you're looking at a team that went 14-2. They won the championship last year, but they wanted to fire their coach, Ryan Day, literally midway through the season. So what's changed for them this year?
Well, first of all, you say you forgot the Ohio State, not just Ohio State. But I think a lot of things has changed. They have a new quarterback coming in, Julian Sand. They have a new defensive coordinator. Not that many people know. Matt Patricia is their D coordinator. I think what happened in the second half was they finally went with the play calling of the offensive coordinator who used to be the head coach of Oregon and in the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think that's what changed. And if that continues to change, they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, the Ohio State Buckeyes have been obviously at the top of the leaderboard when it comes to college football, especially as of lately. The fact that Ryan Day was potentially on the outs, does that championship save him no matter what happens this season?
Probably saved him 2 to 3 years, of cushion. It's kind of weird. Texas, the number one team in the land, and they're underdogs against Ohio State in game one. Number opened up at 3. It's now 2.5. A little bit weird that Texas number one, and they make them an underdog.
Yeah, and it's going to be a rematch. Obviously, that's the Fox noon kickoff, right, between Texas and Ohio State, and it's at the Shoe. So that's probably why we're seeing that line there of what it is, of Texas being the underdog. But if you look at, the Ohio State Buckeyes, they don't return a lot of players. A lot of people went into the draft. Does that worry you, especially in this first game, even though they are favored at the Shoe? Does that worry you against this Texas team?
It does. I think their defense is going to be a little bit light from last year. They have 2 wide receiver studs, Smith, and I can't think of the other guy's name, but both of them are really, really good. And so if they have any quarterback issues from the start, that might lose some momentum from last year. But I think they cruise at the Shoe because the only times they lose at the Shoe is Michigan. So I think they beat Texas.
All right, 5 seconds. Your prediction. What have they got this year?
I'm going to say 10. They could flirt with 11, but I think the biggest game on their schedule is Illinois. They're at Illinois. That team's going to be tough.
No doubt. All right, we'll be right back. Coach and Company in just 5 seconds.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to Coach and Company. It is a gorilla day today. I do want to give a shout out to producer man because sometimes you got to have a couple of days where you have to adjust. We're on a different platform. So thank you to everybody for still tuning in. A reminder coming up at the top of the hour. If you're watching us live right now on Stadium and Valley Sports Live, 11 a.m. for the very first time, Coach and Bro will be live from 11 a.m. to noon with me and Vince Russo. It is the fastest growing pro wrestling show in all of the land. And we're going to be live for the first time today at 11 a.m. at the top of the hour. We'll be talking about, among other things, Vince McMahon showing up on the latest TMZ doc on Hulk Hogan. By the way, next Thursday, live, we're going to have one of the most influential figures in the history of the life of Hulk Hogan, Bubba the Love Sponge, will join the show live next Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you know Hulk Hogan, you know this man, and we're going to dive into everything that has happened the last 30 years in his life from the man who was there for many of it. Take a Google. You'll want to tune in for that show, I promise you. All right, it is time to continue our countdown to the NFL season. September 4th, opening night, it'll be the Eagles and the Cowboys. Those will be the 2 teams that we are doing the final day. But before I bring the guys back, I need to see my guy Rafael because we start today in the AFC East, the Bills and the Dolphins. And Rafael, I love bringing you on as we throw up the schedule. Producer man, great job. You can throw it up, producer man. That's okay. But I need to know if you have anything on the Bills and or the Dolphins today.
Well, talk about opposites attract on this one. Everyone's betting everything over on Buffalo, and everybody's betting under on Miami, including first head coach to be fired, the leader, Mike McDaniel, for now 2-1, open up at 10-1. So everyone's fading the Dolphins, especially no to make the playoffs, which opened at 220, now minus 275.
Wow. Everybody is jumping off the bandwagon. It wasn't that long ago, was it, Rafael, where people were saying, hey, Tyreek, Tua, McDaniels, they're going to be the next team. It hasn't materialized, has it?
No, if they struggle from the bit, we're going to hear the boo birds and maybe someone getting fired during the season. It's going to be a long season for Miami.
Do you think you're going to have to do odds on that? Week 3, week 4?
I would say week 4, week 5. Those are probably two circle weeks that I think Miami could do something to change their lineup or whatever.
I encourage you to watch my guy or follow my guy Rafael on social media because we're always, especially when football starts, it's always day in, day out. Odds are always going up for a lot of different things, and you want to come right here because they come out here first. All right, let's bring my experts back in, DG, Zeno, and my man Peyton Lodge. So, guys, let's start with the Bills because it's really an all-or-nothing type of situation. And right now, Josh Allen, he is everybody's favorite quarterback, everybody's favorite citizen. We all love him. But, DG, there comes a time in a career when you're a future Hall of Famer that you got to win a chip or you at least got to get there. In your mind, is this all or nothing for the Bills?
I believe it is. I think this is a season that they know who they are. They brought back James Cook, who was just recently given an extension. And so because of that, this team has gotten better on the defensive side. They're still going to be good on the offensive side. Last year, they had Amari Cooper towards the end of the season. He ended up retiring. It just shows you like what kind of a shape or what kind of situation he was really in. And so I think that they are better all around than they were last year. And I expect them to be a juggernaut, especially in the regular season. But obviously the questions about the postseason still loom.
And we're going to know right away, Zeno, how good they are. They play Baltimore Sunday Night Football week 1.
Yeah, write that down. Buffalo Bills money line. That's a win. Look, the Buffalo Bills, it's not all or nothing for them or Josh Allen. It took Peyton Manning 9 years to win his first Super Bowl, and no one doubted his status and stature in the league as the best quarterback at that time, despite the fact that Brady had 3 of them. Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league. I don't think there's a debate there. That's just me. I know people will say otherwise, but this team winning in the postseason and winning in the regular season are two different conversations. The table setting is the regular season. The Bills will be good enough to win the AFC East. They'll be good enough to make the playoffs. And what that path looks like, I can't tell you at this point in time. But ultimately, that's going to decide if they end up getting to a Super Bowl, what their path looks like and who they have to face. And we'll figure that out when we get there.
It's one of those things because since they always win the division, Peyton, they always have that first place schedule. So that just adds a little bit of difficulty to do what Zeno just described.
Yeah, Bills fans kind of experiencing the same thing as the Ravens fans have been going through. They've just been surviving an extra week when the playoffs come around. Can Buffalo get it done in the postseason? And, you got 5 primetime games on this schedule, but the tough games they have on their schedule are at home, which is just a huge advantage, especially for the Bills. They didn't lose at home last year. They were 5-4 on the road and 8-0 at home. The only game that I think will be tough on the road is the game in Pittsburgh, running into that defense. But we know the Bills are going to win the division. And this is a Bills team that has their toughest games in their own building, which might make them a team that wins 14 games this year.
And a big topic last year, guys, was the making sure Josh Allen stays healthy. But then about halfway through the season, they kind of threw that out the window, and then Josh Allen started having humongous rushing numbers and playing the way that Josh Allen should play. Do we think from the jump and all the way through, DG, we're going to get the Josh Allen that says, you know what, if I got to rush for 80 yards, that's exactly what I'm going to do?
I think he's going to pick his spots. And I think that you're going to look at a lot of his numbers and you'll be baffled that you're going into halftime, you feel good about it. And then coming at the end of the game, you're like, wait, what happened? Like he never ran again. And he kind of just threw the ball around. Like that's what we're going to see out of Josh Allen. I think that they're going to approach these first halves and try to dominate them. There's a lot of teams on their schedule that they really could put away early. I get it's the NFL and everybody is going to be still good enough to beat anybody. But in the end of the day, I still think this Buffalo team is going to be good. I think this first half, you'll see that normal Josh Allen, but they could pull him back a little bit after the second half.
What do you make of that, Zeno? Because I know you like to educate us on first half bets. Do you like the Bills as the first half team?
I mean, I think like the Bills is a full team every game, every week, every quarter. I think they're one of the most complete teams in the league. Look, the other part of this, Coach, when you ask about that is the actual coach himself, Sean McDermott. You're at a point right now of diminishing returns with Sean McDermott as the head coach of the Bills, where if they can't get over the top in certain spots, if they don't come out prepared in first half games, that all points to coaching. Mm-hmm. And he might be the biggest problem at this point in time. I don't know who's better. I don't know who's out there, but you have to at some point consider the factor that since you can't change the players, the coach might be the holdup.
See, I'm so glad you mentioned that because Peyton, so many times when you have teams that are successful, like the Steelers, they've had Mike Tomlin forever. You say, oh, how could you possibly let Sean McDermott go? They've had all this success. But at some points, the success has got to turn into deep runs and cashing in at least a run to the Super Bowl. I think Zeno's onto something there.
Yeah, without question. I know I keep going on the same thing, but I'm a Ravens guy, coach. So that's kind of been our whole narrative the past couple of years. Lamar's been terrible in the playoffs, and that's what we've been seeing. And the Bills fans, yeah, they survive another week in the postseason, but when it comes to, what is it, August right now, that doesn't really mean anything. It's the same thing as us Raven fans are seeing last season. We didn't do anything in the postseason. That's what Bills fans are saying. That's what Ravens fans are saying. It sounds like the exact same thing. But Josh Allen and McDermott, they need to win a championship.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. By the way, Rafael, in the chat, as always, that money line for the Bills Sunday night against the Ravens is -115. Jump on it right now, especially since my guys told you to. You need to come here and pay attention. NFL is going to be our dominant season. All right, let's flip over now to the Miami Dolphins and how fast things can fall off a cliff. When Tyreek Hill came several years ago, it was going to be he was the guy, he was the name. Then Tua becomes a really good quarterback, but then he gets hurt a ton. Then Mike McDaniels, he's different. He's eccentric. He's the guy that they need. But DG, now all of those storylines are a moot point. This team has been a mess. It continues to be a mess, and I don't know what to expect from this team this year.
You're not going to expect much because they're not going to give you much. This Dolphins team is honestly one of the biggest regression candidates just in general for this season. I have them, labeled as a 5-12 team, and they start off with Indy at Indy. I don't think Indianapolis is that good, but that's going to be a dogfight. And then they come home in their first game against New England, who is going to be a much better New England team. I get it, Miami. It's a little hotter down there, especially early in the season. But in the end of the day, I just don't think there's enough. Tua is great. I think Tua is a good quarterback, but I think he has issues there. But also around the defensive side, I think Miami's going to struggle, and they're going to be out of games quickly. And I think they're going to have to play a lot of catch up.
That's great analysis. Zeno, coming over to you.
Yeah, look, if the wheels come off the wagon fast, Mike McDaniel's gone and this whole thing goes to hell in a handcart pretty quick. That said, I mean, their schedule sets up where they're not exactly challenged facing a whole bunch of high-level quarterback play to start the season, whether it's Daniel Jones and then you get year 2 of Drake May in the first 2 weeks. Like, those are games against weaker quarterbacks you have to be able to win. And particularly Mike McDaniel's case, he's got to be able to have his team prepared and ready to go. So many questions about the offense, though, Coach. I think this defense could be the biggest problem on this team.
I love listening to you guys, man. That's why I keep taking my notes, even though I'm hosting the damn show. Peyton, continue to educate me.
Well, when we sit here and look at all these games, the elephant in the room is we're hoping Tua's healthy. And he gets hurt so much. And as Tua gets hurt and guys get older, the window of success for the Dolphins just gets so much smaller. But something that really got overlooked last season was that the Dolphins were a top 10 defense last year. These games would be a lot less stressful if our boy Tua was healthy. But if he's out, these games look very winnable right now. They've become 13-6, 17-9 losses and only scoring field goals. So Tua is just so important.
All right, 15 seconds for each guy. We piggyback. Where do the Bills and Dolphins finish overall this year? DG, go.
I still think they're 5-12, and I think they struggle throughout the entire season. Look at their last 4 games; those are all losses.
And Bills, do both teams.
Oh, Bills, yes, I have them at 14-3. I think they dominate. I think they start 7-0.
Miami will be a team that'll vie for a wild card spot, but they might only win 7 or 8 games. Look, it depends on how they do in close games, right? The Chiefs won 15 games last year because they were 8-1 in one-score games. You can't keep living that world. So the Dolphins got to be better there. And for Buffalo, I don't know how many wins they'll have. They're winning the AFC East. I don't know if they'll be the number 1 seed, but for them, it's all about the postseason anyway.
Buffalo's winning the division, and their ceiling, I got them winning 14 games. And the Dolphins, if Tua's healthy, could win 10 games and be a wild card team.
Very good, gentlemen. That's a great way to start. It's going to be fascinating to really see how much that number 1 seed plays a part. Is it going to be vital like we've seen in years past? Now there's only 1 instead of 2 teams that get the bye as well. And I think for Josh Allen, he had a great offseason. He got married. He made a lot of great videos. He made a lot of people happy. But now this is the reason people pay attention to him. Football, 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 and we'll see what he and Tua can do leading their teams here in 2025. Tomorrow, we tackle the Patriots and the Jets and what they could do overall this season as well. Plenty more to come. This is Coach and Company Live, as always, right here on Stadium.
We continue the run through college football, and we're going to bring on Marky Model as we get into Oregon, who's led by Dan Lanning. I love Dan Lanning. He's a former coach here for the University of Memphis. He is honestly a good dude in general, and so I will forever cheer on a Dan Lanning-led team. But if you look at this team, 13-1 last season, Oregon kind of, Dylan Gabriel was their guy. Can they still make the same noise this year, though, Mark?
Oregon's path is pretty clear, right? They're still, though, ranked behind Penn State and Ohio State, and they sit firmly in that they should be in the college playoff conversation kind of tier. The question is really their new pieces. Can they click? Can they gel fast enough to make a difference, or are they just going to be a mediocre Oregon team in the Big Ten? They do have former five-star Dante Moore as the high ceiling quarterback. So I like that spot there, but their growth, their momentum is really going to be based on his learning curve with this offense. The O-line suffered a loss with Evan Stewart, who suffered a season-ending knee injury, but they countered. They've got Isaiah World at left tackle now, 6'8", 309. Guy's a mountain of a guy. It's really building enough of a stabilizer to let that quarterback shine.
Yeah, and if you've seen in Oregon, their defense is always tough. It's tough to go into Eugene and really win games, and so that's going to be crucial. They open the season, Montana State. We're calling that a win, right?
Yeah,
I think we
lay the
we
points.
we can call that one a win. But they honestly, they don't have that tough of a schedule either. I looked at a lot of these schedules, these teams. Ohio State starts off with Texas, but really, if you're looking at Penn State and Oregon, they don't play a lot of these big key matches. And so I'm curious if they can get up for the big games and handle business when they're supposed to win. All right, your predictions. I need 15 seconds on what you think Oregon does this season.
I think there's too much faith in a young quarterback, and I don't know that they're going to have enough time with the games that they have scheduled early on to contend late in the season. Look for them to win no more than 9.
All right, forever a favorite of the mascot of the Ducks. We'll be right back at Coach Cup in just 5 seconds.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are live on the Stadium Network. Today, it is a Thursday. We'll be live tomorrow. Then next week, we move outside of the worst hotel, nice hotel in America, and we go down to South Florida. That's right. We'll be live from Fort Lauderdale all week next week. But do not forget, top of the hour, first ever live show, Coach and Bro, right here on Stadium as well. But gentlemen, apparently a lot of documentaries are making news, and I love these because when you travel as much as I do, you got to have something to watch on the plane. And this whole Christian Pulisic, I know I butchered his name, but in episode 8, he goes after his Team USA teammates. It's going to be interesting when he rejoins the team for the big events, how they welcome him back. He said, because they said that he was basically bailing on the team. He didn't want to play for Team USA. Well, he plays internationally. He's on a big-time team. He needed a break. But DG, he said about them, they're all just playing for a check. Snap. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for sure. But I looked at, the inside soccer, I want to say inside baseball of all this. And Pulisic wanted to play the friendlies, but he was not able to play in the Gold Cup games. And so because of that, the coach and organization just said, we're not going to go with you into any of these games because we want one roster is their excuse. He just needed some time off. He's been playing a lot. I think he's in Italy right now. And so because of that, I kind of side with Christian Pulisic on this. I know he's going against his teammates and calling them out as well, but I think that he's also calling out the organization.
I believe so. Zeno, we can't have this. He's going to be the captain.
Look, anytime you're asked to play for Team USA in anything, soccer, basketball, ping pong, tiddlywinks, and you turn it down, it's always going to be looked upon with a side eye, right? Yep. It's always going to be looked upon as if what's really your motivation for anything? Because not everybody gets that opportunity here. So for Christian Pulisic to sort of try to dictate his own schedule when the rest of his teammates are on a different schedule for Team USA creates this rift here. And then the only thing you can do by making it worse is create a bigger rift by talking smack back. So not a good situation here for USA Soccer.
Great take. Peyton?
It's amazing to me how many people on all these podcasts have nothing better to do than to sit back and take shots at all these players in all different sports for not performing or for not playing. Like in this case with Pulisic, like they have no idea what Pulisic or anybody else was going through mentally or physically at the time he decided to sit out of the Gold Cup. There were several different reports that he was dealing with a pretty severe hip flexor that he had been dealing with for quite a while. And who knows what else he was going through at that time. Every athlete is different when it comes to the reasons they miss games, and only the athlete knows why.
Very true, Peyton. Try not to talk too loud. I feel very almost paranoid this morning a little bit whenever you're talking. Anybody else feel that way?
It's the last time.
I know. So when do you actually get to move into your apartment? Are you going to be in the
Tuesday next week? Next prize fight, I will be much louder, much more.
Thank God.
Yeah, volume.
I honestly would love to have the girlfriend or the parents on the show at some point because we got to get to the bottom of this. We need them supporting your career, not keeping you from your career.
Well, girlfriend's mom gave me a light today, so that was good. That's a step in the right direction. Yeah,
a light. A light. All
Coach,
right.
I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is all code and Peyton's really being held hostage. You know, it's like when you say something that's not consistent with, like, hey, go Mets, right? Like,
right.
Trouble,
Blink twice if you need us to save you. All right, boys and girls, it's time to lock it in. Let's go. Coming off an 8-2 day, let's back it up. 10 seconds or less, 1 or 2 nuggets is all that I need. DG, start us off.
Yeah, let's start with the Braves. First 5 team total over the 1.5 runs. It's at -120. The Mets, as an organization, have allowed 2+ runs in 9 of the last 10 games in the first 5 innings. And then we're going to go that same game with Juan Soto over the 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at -135. Elder, no matter if he does not allow a hit, he will still walk you. He's averaging 2.3 walks just in his last 10 starts. Juan Soto gets walked and a run.
Rafael, go.
We're on Friday's preseason game, the last one, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Chiefs Seahawks first half over 20.5. Both of them hit the first half over in week 1. I see some more scoring in week 2. And then give me the Cleveland Guardians first 5 -0.5 +105. Redemption day for Cleveland. They lost yesterday 13-4. They're still trying to make a playoffs. I think they win tonight.
Zeno, you're up.
Freak Skubal on the mound against the Twins. Over his last 6 starts, he's 4-0, 37 innings pitched, just 5 earned runs with 37 strikeouts. Tigers should dominate this one. And the Phillies, team total over 4.5. Since they've been in D.C., since 2020, they've averaged 5.9 runs per game. Nats going with a bullpen game. They have the worst bullpen ERA in all of baseball.
King Lettuce, you're up.
Mark in the chat. I'm waiting for Sloopy to walk in on Peyton. You think I hang out with that guy? I'm going with the Mets to cover. Mets stink right now, but Senga doesn't, especially at home. Just a 2.24 ERA. We're going to go with the Mets to cover the run line. Blue Jays money line as well with Scherzer at home, and Tigers Twins under with Skubal on the mound.
And Big Chuck sending in a little Europa Conference League qualifier, leg number 2, Hibernian. They're from Scotland. Partizan, they're from Serbia. We're going to go over 2.75. And then also Partizan first half team total over half. The reasons, because Chuck said so. All right, JTS play of the day. Mark Yamato, what do we got?
We're going with Juan Soto of the Mets to get at least 1 hit tonight against the Braves. He's done this in 10 of his last 11 games and 6 of 7 against Atlanta. And then we're going to fade Baltimore Orioles Jordan Westburg this afternoon. That's the early game to stay under 1.5 hits. Westburg has not been able to get over this line in 8 of his last 9 and in 5 straight at home. Put them both together for +106. Justice Stat Sports play of the day.
And if you go to justicestatsports.com and you put in the code BTT30, we will give you 30 days for free. Now, before we get out of here, Rafael, I am blown away by the social media podcast darling that you have become. I see on the Twitter that you are showing up today on a podcast with 3 referees that I worked with in the WWE, a wrestling podcast, and you're the featured guest. Talk to me, son. Talk to me.
Yeah, I was only supposed to do 1 count, but I did 2 counts yesterday because they were throwing football questions, prop bets. They want referee prop bets for the next WrestleMania. So it was very, very entertaining, and I had a blast.
DG, I mean, he can be on this, but he can't be on weekday wagers.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Maybe one day, but I'd have to be really sick that day. But I'm curious, what's a ref prop? Like, what do you do? How many times they count to 2 in a match?
Over under bumps in a match.
Oh,
Over under bumps. Bumps are, for anybody that doesn't know, are like when the wrestler hits them and they flop and they roll. That's called a ref bump, is what it's called. Zeno, have you ever been on a wrestling referee podcast?
I have not, but I'm open to any suggestions that you may have, Coach.
And finally, because we're all wondering it and nobody's talked about it, but I will. Peyton, did you or did you not get instructed by said better half to cut your hair to look like a person going to Harvard this fall?
She hates the hair look. She hates it. This was a me choice, Coach.
That was on purpose? Wow. I feel like your dad.
Every haircut, especially with me, you just have to give it a week or two. That's all it takes. And I'm willing to sacrifice the week. I have the time.
wow. He's using the Flowbee again.
Gentlemen, let me just say this. Well done today. I really enjoyed today's show. I enjoyed the vibe. I enjoyed the energy. And do not forget, we're going to be off the air for a commercial break. Why? Because we're dominating 2 full hours right here on Stadium. You don't have to go anywhere, because coming up at the top of the hour, the Coach and Bro Show, the fastest growing show in all of pro wrestling, will be live right here. We're talking about Vince McMahon showing up on a documentary, first time in months. Karrion Kross breaking his silence on his lack of WWE moving forward, and all the very latest on Logan Paul. Is he the greatest heel right now in the WWE? In the meantime, though, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire company. Damn it, do I love them all. My man DG, Zeno, Peyton, Rafael, Mark Yamato, producer man, who got us on the air. Kudos to you. I'm simply the coach. Trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you. So we're going to win with you. That's what we're all about every single day. Let's go. This is Coach and Company Live. We love it right here on Stadium. Have a great day.